27. And Esau, at that time, after the death of Abraham, frequently went in the field to hunt. And Nimrod, king of Babel, the same as Amraphel, also frequently went with his mighty men to hunt in the field, and to walk about with his men in the cool of the day. And Nimrod was observing Esau all the days, for a jealousy was formed in the heart of Nimrod against Esau all the days. And on a certain day, Esau went in the field to hunt, and he found Nimrod walking in the wilderness with his 2 men. And all his mighty men and his people were with him in the wilderness, but they removed at a distance from him, and they went from him in different directions to hunt. And Esau concealed himself for Nimrod, and he lurked for him in the wilderness. And Nimrod and his men that were with him did not know him. And Nimrod and his men frequently walked about in the field at the cool of the day, and to know where his men were hunting in the field. And Nimrod and 2 of his men that were with him came to the place where they were. And Esau suddenly started from his lurking place, and drew his sword, and hastened and ran to Nimrod, and cut off his head. And Esau fought a desperate fight with the 2 men that were with Nimrod. And when they called out to him, Esau turned to them and smote them to death with his sword. And all the mighty men of Nimrod, who had left him to go to the wilderness, heard the cry at a distance, and they knew the voices of those 2 men, and they ran to know the cause of it, when they found their king and the 2 men that were with him lying dead in the wilderness. And when Esau saw the mighty men of Nimrod coming at a distance, he fled, and thereby escaped. And Esau took the valuable garments of Nimrod, which Nimrod's father had bequeathed to Nimrod, and with which Nimrod prevailed over the whole land, and he ran and concealed them in his house. And Esau took those garments, and ran into the city on account of Nimrod's men. And he came to his father's house, wearied and exhausted from fight. And he was ready to die through grief, when he approached his brother Jacob, and sat before him. And he said unto his brother Jacob, Behold, I shall die this day, and wherefore then do I want the birthright? And Jacob acted wisely with Esau in this matter. And Esau sold his birthright to Jacob, for it was so brought about by the Lord. And Esau's portion in the cave of the field of Machpelah, which Abraham had bought from the children of Heth for a possession of a burial ground, Esau also sold to Jacob. And Jacob bought all this from his brother Esau for value given. And Jacob wrote the whole of this in a book, and he testified the same with witnesses, and he sealed it. And the book remained in the hands of Jacob. And when Nimrod, the son of Cush, died, his men lifted him up and brought him in consternation, in shame and contempt. And the seed of Abraham caused his death, as he had seen in his dream. And at the death of Nimrod, his kingdom became divided into many divisions. And all those parts that Nimrod reigned over were restored to the respective kings of the land, who recovered them after the death of Nimrod. And all the people of the house of Nimrod were for a long time enslaved to all the other kings of the land. Jasher chapter 28. And in those days after the death of Abraham, in that year the Lord brought a heavy famine in the land. And whilst the famine was raging in the land of Canaan, Isaac rose up to go down to Egypt on account of the famine, as his father Abraham had done. And the Lord appeared that night to Isaac, and he said to him, Do not go down to Egypt, but rise and go to Gerar, to Abimelech, king of the Philistines, and remain there till the famine shall cease. And Isaac rose up and went to Gerar as the Lord commanded him, and he remained there a full year. And when Isaac came to Gerar, the people of the land saw that Rebekah his wife was of a beautiful appearance. And the people of Gerar asked Isaac concerning his wife, and he said, She is my sister. For he was afraid to say she was his wife, lest the people of the land should slay him on account of her. And the princes of Abimelech went and praised the woman to the king. But he answered them not, neither did he attend to their words. But he heard them say that Isaac declared her to be his sister. So the king reserved this within himself. And when Isaac had remained 3 months in the land, Abimelech looked out at the window, and he saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah his wife. For Isaac dwelt in the outer house belonging to the king, so that the house of Isaac was opposite the house of the king. And the king said unto Isaac, What is this thou hast done to us, in saying of thy wife, She is my sister? How easily might one of the great men of the people have lain with her, and thou wouldst then have brought guilt upon us. And Isaac said unto Abimelech, Because I was afraid lest I die on account of my wife, therefore I said, She is my sister. At that time Abimelech gave orders to all his princes and great men, and they took Isaac and Rebekah his wife, and brought them before the king. And the king commanded that they should dress them in princely garments, and make them ride through the streets of the city, and proclaim before them throughout the land, saying, This is the man, and this is his wife. Whoever toucheth this man or his wife shall surely die. And Isaac returned with his wife to the king's house, and the Lord was with Isaac, and he continued to wax great, and lacked nothing. And the Lord caused Isaac to find favor in the sight of Abimelech, and in the sight of all his subjects. And Abimelech acted well with Isaac, for Abimelech remembered the oath and the covenant that existed between his father and Abraham. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, Behold, the whole earth is before thee. Dwell wherever it may seem good in thy sight, until thou shalt return to thy land. And Abimelech gave Isaac fields and vineyards, and the best part of the land of Gerar, to sow and reap and eat the fruits of the ground, until the days of the famine should have passed by. And Isaac sowed in that land, and received 100-fold in the same year. And the Lord blessed him. And the man waxed great, and he had possession of flocks, and possession of herds, and great store of servants. And when the days of the famine had passed away, the Lord appeared to Isaac, and said unto him, Rise up, go forth from this place, and
you know, say, that book here I study, you say, it just jump in the realms, and me notice the way the earth balance, everything what we talk about just fall in place, you know. See? Because you hear me I telling us, say, when the mother sign off on the birth paper, I like she give away the birthright. And then the first thing when I observe is Esau did sell him father and birthright. So a long time the birthright something I go on. See? And you know I observe again the law of what? Obedience. But the Lord sent him to the king, you know. And even when he was so afraid, that's why when you put your full trust, you know, in Almighty Papa and Almighty Mama, when you go nowhere, you're not afraid. And he was so afraid in tell his sister. And he nearly met the king, married his wife, kind of sister. Just obey the Lord, man. Follow the Almighty Mama, no? Almighty Papa. If you're covered already and you submit everything to them, you'll have to have nothing, you know. So, if he send you, me tell you what people don't really comprehend. You know how we know for judge? He said the garrisons, without the garrisons, no king or nobody in no power. And sometimes the Lord use the same power that is of his power. And sometimes maybe it's the king of Babylon. Like the bad man around the garrison there. You need shelter, instead you go stay with the king there. Don't fear. Go, if the Lord send you to the king, go talk to the king. You know why he send you to the king? Because at that time, in that moment, you did have to go into the garrison to get covered from who? The garrison, you with them. So if you do the maths, you will realize that garrison plays a very important role in society. Because those are the people they use. Because why using people? Because they're just bold, strong. And that's why when you hear them say, them badness and them this and that, and them authority because they feel powerless. So they don't know the truth. They create them in an environment where be a gun, bang, bang, and so waiting to do what they're going to do. Them not see one another man are dead every day. So now if you stand up like Callum and I big up them badness and I come and say, if you ever come over here, so because they don't know the truth as yet. The garrison is a very important place of society. Remember saying be a garrison man did their own Yashua, you know. When Yashua they be a top man there on him and make sure he said the work going, you know. You think society man they don't guard him, then jealous of him because them run down kingship and power and gold. So who you think they tried with Yashua right through make them couldn't touch him? At the garrison, some top garrison man. Some man where people love as yet still fear. And them see the necessary in the realms to protect this man. Because this man speaketh truth. This man speaketh a new light. Nobody can touch this man. Then if every Dan and every garrison worldwide say nobody can touch truth, what do you think is going to happen? So judge not. Judge no one. Put every trust and your faith in who? Almighty Papa. Almighty Mama. And you know why I break the code so? Because it come like some people still confused. You cannot look outside of yourself for yourself. So if you don't want to believe nobody, remember when you was a child, who was your Almighty when you was a baby? Your mother, your father. When you look and you go outside and somebody trouble you speak with power. Yeah, I'm going to tell me mother upon you. So even though you feel cold when you're outside the gate, you see when you reach and see when you reach in here and you reach and say, I'm going to tell Papa upon you. So the first Almighty you know as a baby is who? Mama and Papa. So now you come of age and you're strong and you're a big man now forget your wealth. Pray to the Almighty what? Papa. And the Almighty who? Mama. It's simple. It's simple. Truth, I want simple something. And you cannot seek for truth outside of yourself. Now, Kieran and tell you about the spiritual realms. If you cannot balance in front of you in your daily activity where you live, it's not truth. So to be not confused. When you have me tell you, say, you know, in every tribe, anywhere in the world, the first word that come out of the baby mouth is Dada. Dada. The baby not even know him. I say, baby depend Dada. And when the baby come to realization, the baby say what? Mama. And a mama feed the baby. So what that I tell you say? When you are praying and crown a prayer, who first you feel? Almighty Dada. Almighty Dada. Almighty Mama. Almighty Mama. Then if it's one man creates so much race and so much different people. Do the maths. Do the maths. Then the most well name him have. Because if people did come from over so, and one next people come from over there so, and some did come from around so, anything what their mother tell them say the Almighty God name or that, them are gonna know. Say know which one of the names them for answer to. But for us make it simple. Almighty Papa say, Almighty Mama say, I know me say, Almighty Son say, cause Almighty Son a truth. If you don't just come to school, you don't listen keenly. But who they at Jerusalem school every day, them know what me I talk about. So, make we listen to come with a book your name, what name? Jasper. You know, find this a book here in a Bible, master. Pastor them don't know about this, but it's very necessary for us to ignite our souls with the journey. Because there's no story and no book that is written on the face of the sun when they don't write about you and when they don't write about me. So I could go in a little bit and listen with the keen ears and like and share. Like and share.